loving this town, it's our turn. So put your hands up, we on the big screen, and everybody's here living out our dreams, dreams. Whoa. Don't be scared, take a chance, come on, give me a hand. It's time to laugh, time to smile, now let's get up and dance. Come on everybody, let's live it up, let it out if you can't get enough. This right here gonna make you jump, jump, jump on your side. This is the place. We break it out. Here and now, we're singing loud, screaming, shouting, loving, so your side.
1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get it ready to start the show. Put your hands up and let them go. If you with me, say
on your side. WHAS 11, we're on your side.
From WHAS 11, this is Derby 139, live from the Kentucky Derby Museum.
And we open on this Derby morning at 10 o'clock, our 10 o'clock hour with you with one of the greatest Derby horses of recent history, Mind That Bird. What a great story Mind That Bird was in 2009. Went off as the 50-1 long shot. So what about Mind That Bird? What was his history? Well, he won 5 of 18 starts, and he amassed a career earnings of $2.2 million. He raced for 3 years, and he decided to come back to Louisville, the site of his greatest victory, and say hello to everybody here at the Kentucky Derby Museum. And what a nice view of Mind That Bird. Go on.
Mind That Bird
He's enjoying his hay.
Is still a racehorse through and through. They say here's the call to the Pokes, and he perks right up, and you know that Mind That Bird is still a racehorse at heart.
Well, welcome back to the Derby Museum, everybody. We're glad to have you with us again for WHAS 11's coverage. You know, last year they had the largest crowd in Kentucky Derby history, 165,000 people. This year, if you want a little bit more elbow room, you can come on out to the track. We suggest that because the weather will probably be a factor, even though the rain is a little lighter right now than it was just a few moments ago.
Your elbows better have a rain slicker on them because it's going to be mighty wet out here, and people are preparing. We've had Reed Yaden all morning at Wagner's and outside the gates here at Churchill Downs talking to people, but a whole lot of that time has been spent watching the radar. Reed, what does it show us now?
Radar is showing pretty much as forecast. Let's go ahead and take a look at 3D radar. We're live inside Wagner's Pharmacy now. It's busy here. A lot of folks having that traditional Derby breakfast before they head to the track, but we're seeing a lot of ponchos and rain jackets in here as well. Now then, the radar is bearing the evidence there. A few little pockets of breaks in the rain. Lighter rain right now around Churchill, but some pockets of heavier rain will rotate through the area during the coming hour. What started as a drizzle became a steadier rain. That's our weather story for today. Now let's take a larger view here with a regional radar and satellite combined, and you can see the very large rain area. The low pressure area is out to our west. You can see the circulation around it as well. But once the rain is here, which it is, you can see it is pretty well going to be staying around. Lots of yellow showing up, indicating pockets of heavier rain. Then you can look at the circulation out to the west, to the left of your screen. You can kind of see the circulation around that low pressure area that really is the culprit in our entire Derby weather story this weekend. But rain is the weather story for Derby weekend in Kentuckiana. During the afternoon, the rain will become periods of rain, fewer scattered showers, more periods of rain, heavy at times. Here's what it's going to look like at 6 o'clock tonight. This is the money shot. This is Futurecast now. Our technology allows us to look hours ahead, and we've been doing that for several days, and it's kind of gotten pretty consistent here in the last 36 hours in particular. 6 o'clock tonight, before post time, rain in the area, some of it heavy at times. It looks like a wet track and a soggy Derby. Dress accordingly if you're coming to the track. You know, the ponchos, really, that's the fashion statement for today. A look at the First Alert Storm Team Derby Day forecast. You already know it. It is cloudy, and as we had talked about earlier, we were in the low 60s. The rain arrives, cools the atmosphere down. We're in the upper 50s now. It is 58 degrees. It is a chilly day out there. Temperatures hovering right around 60 degrees. few degrees either side, depending on how much rain we're getting at a given time, but a wet Derby. This is Pam Pryor. Pam, how many years is this for you? How many Derbies here at Wagner's?
13 of them.
13.
Well, 12 Derbies. I've been here 13
When
years.
when you come to Wagner's and have a good meal, you can thank Pam for it. She does a terrific job there behind the grill. And my partner in crime this Derby, Rachel Platt. Rachel, it is a pleasure to work with you anytime.
Hey, you too.
And you've got Derby trivia ready to go.
We've
here.
got some Derby trivia, but I'm going to tell you one person who's okay with the rain today, and that's Alan, because look at those red cheeks. Show us your legs, Alan.
Look at these red
That's
cheeks.
the money shot.
Whoa! I've seen better looking.
Was that from?
better looking legs on bar stools.
Hey, let me tell you, is that from yesterday?
Yes, it is.
You did not use sunscreen in the infield.
Did not use sunscreen.
All right, so I'm going to give you a trivia question that might pertain to your legs.
Okay.
What horse had the nickname? What Derby horse had the nickname Big Red?
Big Red. I would say Secretariat.
Ding, 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 ding. You win. You win a coffee mug. All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you. All right, now, Melissa and Doug, we're going to kind of go off of that trivia question
Talk
for
about
you all.
Secretariat.
Huh?
Okay, try again. We
All
want
right,
the
here we go.
Secretariat question.
Here is your question. What
Okay.
horse ran the second fastest Derby?
The second fastest Derby.
The horse right behind Secretariat the year Secretariat
And do you know the
won.
name? Sham.
No.
I
What
did.
was it?
Sham.
Sam?
I was going to
Sam?
give you a mug. Sham. S-H-A-M.
Sham,
I was going to
okay.
give you a mug, but now you don't get one. You don't get the
Well, wait a
thermos.
second.
No,
I get
we've got
something
another-
because I got close.
You-
He guessed
doesn't
close.
count.
Yeah,
He
close
guessed
is no
close.
cigar. All right,
Oh,
we're going to give you
Rachel,
another. You can
Now,
you can
this-
redeem yourself later
I
in the
don't-
show.
I don't have a Great Day Live mug. I was really hoping to get that.
We just
You
want you
just
to know
wait.
we knew the answer to the Secretariat question, just so you
Okay.
know. We're not totally stupid. We knew that one.
Back
Thank
to
you
you
very
guys.
much, Rachel. We'll see you later.
Well, it wasn't too long ago. We had a lot of rain here at the track.
Oh, it was 2010. It was really, really a rainy Derby that day. It was the last time that we saw that much rain. The rain poured down all night and into the next day. It turned the track. That was for the 136 Derby. It was just muddy. Amazingly, though, the sun came out, so it wasn't rainy at Derby Day. It slowed just before the race. Super Saver won with jockey Calvin Burrell on board. You remember that when it was so muddy on the track and he was getting all that mud in his face. But that made Calvin the first jockey to win 3 Derbies in a 4-year span. And I'm told that year, the second horse to mine that to Super Saver was Icebox. So you'll know that if you're asked next time.
The muddy feet we showed there. You know, we get a breakdown called the Kentucky Derby Day timeline. It's hour by hour. I'm going to borrow your fashionable cheaters here,
go
Melissa,
right
because
ahead,
they need
go
to see
right
it.
ahead.
I've never seen this before, but from 10:30 to 1:30, what are these glasses? 10:30 to 1:30 today, the Garland of Roses
They're very
and
chic.
the Derby Trophy will be on public display beneath the Jockey Club balcony where they're saddling the paddock, where they saddle the horses. That's until 1:30. You'll actually see the Garland of Roses.
Have you ever seen that
And the trophy.
come in?
I've never been able to.
It
I've
is
seen it come in, but I've never been able
beautiful.
to view it, and the public can see it for such
Right.
a long time here this afternoon.
It is presented in such a grand way. You know, there's 450 roses that they have been sewing in at the Kroger store in Shelbyville Road all night. And when they bring this prized possession in, it weighs about 40 pounds. They bring it in a long glass enclosed case. So it's a beautiful display. So you said that was about 1:30?
Yeah, well, it'll last till 1:30. It goes on display here in 30 minutes. And again, it's under the Jockey Club balcony right
It
near
is
the
wonderful
paddock.
to see. And there were so many people last night who make it a tradition of going every year to the Kroger store to see that sewn in. In fact, we had a 3rd generation person who was watching it with their family.
And this tradition started 81 years ago with the 1932 Kentucky Derby. It was the 58th running, and it all got started after a New York sports writer coined the term Run for the Roses. And a lot of people who were visiting our town last night and overnight are learning all of this Derby history, which dates back, of course, now 139 years, and they've picked it up at a lot of the big parties across town.
And they have a nice tradition there at Kroger while they're making these the rose garden and rose garland and sewing them in. The roses are giant roses and they're flown in from Argentina, but sometimes they'll pull the petals off or one is no good and so they won't use it. It has to be perfect. The roses they don't use, they'll tear the petals off and they'll give them to the people who have come out to watch, so everyone has a souvenir. Yes, it's very, very nice.
Our Chelsea Rabideau's been covering the parties from overnight, and she's bringing us a new look this morning. We'll be joining Chelsea here in just a moment, but we also want to join our Michelle Arnold, who has just been checking in with people who are getting out of the rain.
As you know, the rain has started to fall here at Churchill Downs. You see plenty of people taking shelter from the rain. Right now we're in the Derby Museum in the gift shop. We've got Denise and Dan here. They're prepared and they're plastic. How are you guys?
Good, thanks.
And where are you all from?
We're from Connecticut, and we're with friends who are from Rhode Island.
Okay, y'all bummed out that it's raining?
Not really. Not too, just going to have a great time. Hopefully cash a couple tickets and enjoy the whole day.
Did you come to the Oaks yesterday?
We did. Got to get my money back.
Beautiful day, yes.
Oh, you lost some money, Dan?
A little bit. You help out the Commonwealth, where we can, but we come to get it back today.
Yeah, now, are you all in here because you're actually shopping for a gift, or are you trying to...
He needs a coat.
You need a coat?
Yeah, I'm looking for a pullover here. Anything to make sure I can match here? I got to get the color scheme going or something.
I don't think people are going to be worried about matching as much as staying warm and staying dry today.
I have my rain boots on as well.
You wore your rain boots. Yes, that is very good. Now, where are you all seat set?
Not undercover, so we're out in the rain.
Okay, well, you all can seek shelter here for a while, find you a pullover, get that racing program out, and start studying.
Ready for a wonderful day, even in the rain.
Okay, well, good luck. You all have a Derby pick yet? Derby pick?
It's my lucky day if it keeps raining, so yeah, for sure. And my man Kenny McPeak will be cheering for Kenny.
Okay, that's my lucky day. I hope it is your lucky day. Reporting from the Derby Museum, Michelle Arnold, Kentucky Derby 139.
You know, that is a great name for a Derby horse because it's my lucky day. A lot of people are going to bet on It's My Lucky Day.
Well, I'll Have Another was a great name last year. Came in and surprised a lot of people. Yes, it did. And we have a small city growing here in South Louisville today as more people head to the track. Again, the first race goes off at about 10:30 this morning, and then the Derby prep races after that. So we'll bring you more coverage coming up here from the Kentucky Derby Museum. And we're back here as we are watching people come up with creative ways to stay out of the rain. And WHAS 11's Terry Miners has done just that. He has found some folks who've been trying to get their way to the infield.
You know, after you go in the gate to get to the infield, there is a tunnel that you go through and up under. And on these rainy days, sometimes people take shelter there. And Terry was looking for people in the tunnel to the infield.
All have vehicles to get down, get around where we want to go at Churchill Downs. Look, he's got a lid over the top of that golf cart. He's a genius today. The smart people are wearing the ponchos. That's the way that works. Look at this dude, ready to go hunt. What's up, brother?
How's it going?
Ted Nugent's in the house. What's your name?
Josh Browning.
Josh, that's the smart way to roll out here.
Absolutely. It's the only way to go on a day like this.
Did you just buy that one, or is that...
Actually, this made it to the Derby 3 years ago with me when it rained again all day.
And you haven't dragged it out of the closet since?
It's been in the trunk. Yeah.
It's so sexy. I'm surprised you don't wear it weekly.
Turkey season, that's about it.
Well, good luck next season, all right?
Thank you.
That's the way it is. The problem is that once he walks away, you can't see him because he's camouflaged. Hey, look, shrubbery made it into the infield. And then some people have, kerchiefs around their neck tied that way, regular plastic ponchos, and who knows what else. This is going to be prime real estate later today. A lot of people pay big money to sit upstairs undercover. But why do that when you can just come down here in this tunnel? Hello, ladies.
Hi.
What are you doing, taking surveys?
Yeah. We're entering people to win Dodge Ram truck.
You win the truck today?
Yeah.
Somebody wins that truck that's out there in the infield?
Not today.
There's a qualifier to it.
Probably Sunday.
Do I have to give you my social security number?
No.
My email address?
Yes. Your email address.
Then you're going to spam me, aren't you?
No, there's a box on here you check and we won't.
I want to believe you in the worst way. I know it says that on there. That doesn't mean you're not going to spam me anyway. You gonna hang in the tunnel here today to stay out of the rain?
I am.
That's a good play right there. What kind of money you get paid to do this job?
It's pretty good.
Is it $20 an hour?
It's more than that.
$40 an hour?
Not telling.
This girl hasn't told the truth since we started talking. What's your name?
Kristen.
Where do you live, Kristen?
I live in Louisville, Kentucky.
Well, we're glad to have you here in your hometown, smart enough to stand in the tunnel. Down here with the groundhogs and all the other things that live underground, I'm Terry Miners for Kentucky Derby 139. You're not getting my email address.
Thank you.
All right, and after those tunnels filled up with water a few years ago, they'll keep them out if the rain gets really heavy. You know, one thing I've always been impressed with are people who have lived here and made their careers here and had great success, either former athletes, love to come back for the Kentucky Derby. And one man that our Chelsea Rabideau found was Randall Cobb, who played many different roles at UK during his career as a Wildcat, including quarterback. And now he's with the Green Bay Packers.
And Chelsea found him last night at one of the galas on Derby Eve.
We're here at the 25th Annual Barnstable Brown Gala, and I'm joined by Randall Cobb, a Green Bay Packer and former UK Cat. So how does it feel to be back in Kentucky?
It feels great. You know, this is like my second home, and it's my Kentucky home. So I really miss being here, and I always get a chance. Whenever I get a chance to come back, it's always a great time.
And now I heard you saying you still need to study the horses tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you have any feelings? Any?
I don't. Honestly, I haven't even looked at it. I don't even know who's racing. So I gotta get in there and get in my book and then figure it out.
Is this your first time actually experiencing the Derby? Obviously, you've been in Kentucky, but
No.
Derby?
This is actually my third year in a row that I've come to, you know, Barnstable and also the Derby. So I'm looking forward to this weekend.
And you said Aaron was giving you some hints.
Yeah, he was. He likes to study it a little bit, and he likes to think that he knows what he's doing. So I took a little bit of his insight.
All right, thank you so much. Have a great night. For Kentucky Derby 139, I'm Chelsea Rabideau.
Thank you very much, Chelsea. A lot of people out last night. The city was really, really hopping, even at midnight when I was headed home. You could see all the people along 4th Street Live and enjoying Derby Eve. Some of them enjoying it too much.
And some of them, yes, some of them were in the middle of Chestnut Street and 4th Street Live.
With the
around.
police officers as we were going home. We see a lot at midnight when we're going home. We're going to be back with more of our Derby coverage right after this. Stay tuned, everybody. Going over the racing form before Derby 139, figuring out which horse might cross the finish line first. And a lot of people evidently have been looking at Frack Daddy. That horse started about 50 to 1. It's now down to 15 to 1.
Kenny McPeak horse and WHAS 11's Adam Lefkoe caught up with one of the assistant traders of Frack Daddy.
On the backside, Adam Lefkoe here at Barn 6. Ken McPeak's barn joined right now by Phil Bauer, assistant trainer. Java's War, Frack Daddy. How are we feeling so far, I guess, heading in to Derby Day?
Well, we're excited. Both colts are feeling well this morning, so, you know, a Derby seems to be kind of a trip race. We're hoping on a good trip, and I think they both have different running styles, so we'll probably look for Frack to be involved early and Java coming late. So,
how closely are you guys looking at the skies, following the forecast right now?
I don't think we're terribly worried. If it rains, it rains. We can't control it, and I don't think it'll hurt them. They've trained in slop here, and they both seem to get across it well, so not too worried.
You were saying you guys got a race early on. I mean, people forget there's a whole undercard of all these races. How do you balance taking care of those horses with the Derby coming up after 6?
It's really all routine. Only thing different is, I guess, the crowd and some excitement involved with it, but it's the same protocol for everything. I mean, same steps you take before each race, and just take it as in stride.
You guys are all about routine. What are some of the crazier things, though, that happen Derby week, whether it's fans, whether it's friends from home, that have kind of been different for a horse race?
I just think there's more popularity to the race, so obviously there's tons of people on the backside, and it's an exciting week. It's fun to be a part of it, and we're thrilled to have 2 horses in the Derby. So
I am going to be putting a good chunk of change on Java's War. I need some confidence right now. Should I feel confident right now with that horse?
He's jumping out of his skin this morning. He's feeling really good. The cool weather's got him pretty excited and pumped up. He knows it's race day, so.
Jumping out of its skin. I will be doing that if I hit my trifecta, so I'm excited. Phil Bauer, Adam Lefkoe, back to you.
Jumping out of his skin, Frack Daddy there, one of the horses that is very popular with the crowd here at Churchill Downs. Took it from about 51 all the way down to 15 to 1, Frack Daddy is. And that's one of those horses with those interesting names. If you think you know what Frack Daddy is, you probably are right. If you've heard of fracking, his owners are oil men
we need to explain that.
from Montana, and fracking is a way of cracking through the earth and getting the oil out. And they say it's to honor people who work in the oil fields. But it's also very controversial, so it'll be interesting if we have a Derby horse with that name.
Some of the stories behind the names, we've been passing them along here to you, and we'll be back here with more of our coverage from the Kentucky Derby Museum. Stay with us.
From WHAS 11, this is Derby 139, live from the Kentucky Derby Museum.
Good morning again, everyone. We've got 30 more minutes with you, so we've got a lot to cram into this next 30 minutes. A lot of information to set you on your way for this historic day at Churchill Downs. Kentucky Derby 139. We want to update you on the weather. We're going to give you the latest odds. We'll even give you our Derby picks for what that is worth.
And on this Derby day, we have been checking in on the weather quite a bit because it's all important for this mainly outdoor event. Let's go over to Reed Yaden and find out if anything has changed. I fear it has not, and it's going to be pretty much a day-long rain, right, Reed?
Indeed. Melissa, I think you've summed it up. The picture that you can imagine of this Derby, one of ponchos, a wet, cloudy day. Started out, we've had the best part of the day already. That's over with. It began as a drizzle sometime around 9 o'clock-ish, and then it became more of a steady rain. It has picked up from time to time. And here at 10:30, we're live inside Wagner's. Let's go ahead and take a look at 3D radar. First of all, we'll focus on the Metro. Let you see what's going on. You can see rain across the Metro right now, and this situation is going to be with us pretty much throughout the day. That's not to say there won't be a brief break from time to time, but the radar is showing some heavier rain down to the south. It'll be rotating across the area. The darker greens and the yellows represent the heavier rain, but pretty much all the Metro getting some degree of rain, including the area here at Churchill at the present time. Now we'll take a look at more of a regional radar view. This is a combination radar satellite. The first thing you're going to notice, first of all, cloudy skies all around the area. It will be a cloudy day, cool. The onset of rain, the temperature, the atmosphere cools down some. We're in the upper 50s now. And look at that large rain area that gradually has moved north-northeast ever so slowly, moved across our area. Scattered showers now, or a lighter rain becomes a steadier rain this afternoon. Periods of rain will continue through the afternoon. Now, let's use our technology here. These are computer models, but they've been pretty accurate. We're going to walk you through the afternoon. By 2 o'clock, here's the way Futurecast is showing things. Notice rain in the area. It was slow to get here, but now that it's here, it's going to be staying. Now, let's advance it 2 more hours. By 4 o'clock this afternoon, as we work our way toward the Derby post time, still rain in the area. You'll notice some yellow there from time to time, representing some heavier rain that'll move across. Then, finally, as we move on towards 6 o'clock, not a lot of change. The rain continues during the afternoon. Looks like it's going to be a wet track and a wet Derby. No way around it. The rain will be the Derby story. And I would think, now understand the race I'm going to be watching tomorrow, Tony Stewart is my favorite. Different kind of racing. But I would think, without knowing a lot about thoroughbred racing, don't profess to, I yield to the guys over there at the track, I would think the weather could be a factor in this Derby, depending on the timing and the intensity of the rain. Here's a look at our Derby forecast in detail. Look for today to be cloudy, basically a cloudy and cool Derby, and during the afternoon, periods of rain will continue, and we'll look for temperatures right around the 60-degree mark. Not going to change a great deal with the temperatures today and a wet day. Let's say good morning to 3 guys from Wisconsin.
How you doing?
Hey, you guys are eating right. You are chowing down. Now, where are you going to go in the track?
Where do you think you want to go?
Infield.
The infield.
No, he's a rookie. He's never been.
Oh, then you got to take him to the infield.
I think so, too.
Called mint juleps, probably.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Now, Rachel, you've got some more Derby trivia you're going to play.
Before we get to the Derby trivia, some interesting where. Can you give us a little model here?
Sure.
We've got a kilt going into the infield. You're from Columbus, Ohio. Now come over here. You said there's a difference between wearing a dress and a kilt. What makes it a dress?
A dress is when you have on something underneath it. It's a kilt if you don't. That's correct.
So what are you wearing?
I would be wearing a kilt.
Okay, just so you know. And we want to let you know we've got that final trivia question. And Doug and Melissa, you are playing for a bottle of racehorse liniment. And they say this is as good as Ben Gay. So let's see if you get the question here. You have Mind That Bird behind you. That was one of the biggest upsets in Derby history, but not the biggest. What was the biggest upset in Derby history, guys?
Let me think hard on this. I bet you the odds were something like 91 to 1. Am I close?
Yes.
And was the horse Donna Rail?
Woohoo! You win the racehorse liniment. It's yours.
Melissa
and they
gets
say
the
it's better
liniment.
than Ben Gay.
I need it. I'm the oldest. I need it.
Yes,
We'll
for
share
our
it.
audience, for our viewers out there, if you smell a fix as strong as that liniment, you're right. They gave us the answers.
We have these little things in our ears that, just to make sure we'd get one all morning. They were feeling sorry for us. But thank you at Waggers. Rather than the liniment, I'd like to have the biscuits and gravy about now. That helps.
It's good that they sell liniment, though,
That
at Waggers
lubricates
as
too,
well.
yeah.
Tells you a lot about the character of Waggers Pharmacy.
Well, you know, there was some big news on the backside of the Derby and Churchill Downs yesterday morning when the #1 horse scratched in the early morning. A major change to the field for the Kentucky Derby. The scratch, Black Onyx, out of Derby 139. And trainer Kelly Breen started noticing just a little bit of swelling. It was really hard to predict or detect, they say, that Black Onyx was having some trouble. He still went out on the track. He still galloped. They decided to get an x-ray. In fact, I heard this morning they had to get a couple of x-rays, and that's when they discovered that chip in his left front ankle.
Right. There's a bone chip, and Breen says he's not sure if this injury is going to require surgery, but that could change. And it was tough news for the whole Black Onyx team.
Couldn't have been any worse timing, and I've been saying it the whole week, how tough it is to get here. My family came in at midnight last night. We were all gung-ho. I got 5 hours of sleep, and you know, we're ready to not even take our clothes out of the suitcases.
I'm just very thankful that the horse is going to be okay. Honestly, it might be a blessing in disguise. I mean, that's what horse racing really... Everybody loves these horses. They want the best by it. And look, we do make sure these horses get the best care.
Black Onyx drew the inside post for the race, the #1 position. That position is not going to be filled. There are 19 horses in the 139th run for the Roses. They will stay in the same post positions that were drawn on Wednesday.
And
another big change we've been talking about out here is the security this year. It is much tighter, and we've noticed it all across the board at the track.
And we're going to go to our Karma Dickerson. She is with the people who have been coming in and the people checking the bags and looking for things that need to be confiscated. There are a longer list. We're going to give them to you in just a few moments. First, let's see what Karma found this morning.
Of course, one of the major stories of this year's Derby is security. As you can see, we've got heightened security out. One of the things they told us to be cognizant of is that there's a very good chance people coming in are going to be wanded down, and we're seeing that as people come in and out. They are getting wanded down. So far, it seems people have kept to the guidelines of what they can and cannot bring in, specifically women with their larger purses. We haven't seen a lot of those come through. People seem pretty clear on it.
We're pumped.
Okay.
Revolution.
Okay. What do you think about this security we got out here?
It's good. It's good for us.
Anything to keep us safe. Anything to keep us safe.
Okay. Did you have any concerns about having such a big event after what happened in Boston?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
We're full of good people.
Okay.
A couple crazies, but the rest of the world's great. So.
How long did it take you to get through the line and move in?
We're working on about 6 minutes right now.
Yeah, about 6 minutes. So 6 minutes, not bad at all. So it looks like at Churchill they were able to keep things moving, and they did say that that was one of their major goals with restricting what people could bring in, so there would not be long delays with people getting in. For Kentucky Derby 139, I'm Karma Dickerson.
Thank you very much, Karma. We also want to start giving you the list, if you're getting ready to think about the track, of the things you can and cannot bring. Some interesting changes here this year.
Yes, the things you can bring. They're food in plastic. You know, a lot of times the restaurants will pre-prepare the food in the plastic bags. You can bring water, you can bring soft drinks. Diaper bags, if you have a baby. You can bring a diaper bag if you have a baby. That's funny. Small cameras. They were saying everybody's got a camera on their cell phone these days. Go with those. They will not be confiscated. Those you can get in. Some small binoculars are fine. Sunscreen, maybe not so much today, but most days you will want the sunscreen. Also, small music system, radios, television, cell phones, all but small. They're gonna look through your bags. They're going to use a wand on you to search you. So you don't want to bring in anything that you might think might be confiscated. Smartphones are okay. You can bring the tablets, of course, the iPads and all of that. Cushions, chairs, blankets. No tents. We cannot have tents. We should tell you this. So you will have ice and a cooler, and you can keep your drinks cool. You can. For $5, a $5 charge, you can get a 7-pound bag of ice and a cooler in the infield, so you will be able to keep cold the things that you bring in.
And picking up on that, the list that you can't bring, they have banned coolers this year, also cans, glass containers, camcorders and cameras with detachable lenses, tripods, purses bigger than 12 inches. Armani Webb was out live yesterday, and he did find a lot of women with the perfect size purses, and they were able to slip sandals for their feet right inside them. So it is working for some folks. Again, you cannot bring umbrellas, buy ponchos. We suggest you also wear very comfortable shoes that you expect to ruin today because of the rain. Backpacks, luggage, briefcases, duffels, wagons, grills, alcoholic beverages, and tents. Of course, those are all banned, and also you cannot bring specimen jars to try to sneak beer into the place like Rachel and Reed discovered outside Wagner's.
It did
yes,
not work.
It was in a specimen jar.
Aaron Pryor, where'd you get this, Aaron? Aaron Pryor, photographer. They handed them out at the infield entrance. A rain
You're a pretty
poncho.
big guy. Is this going to cover you?
It'll be a good start, won't it? It'll be a good start. Rain poncho that they handed out at the infield entrance. So you know, here on the grounds at Churchill Downs, you can get your ponchos because so many stores are sold out. When I walked into Walgreens the morning of Derby 2010, they took one look at me and said, "We're sold out." They
Is
knew what I was
it
there for.
fashionable, though? You have to be fashionable, as we've said, the fashionable poncho.
Dry is fashionable, Doug.
Here's
Dry is
Aaron's
fashionable.
poncho back. There
Thank
we go.
you very much. We're going to be right back with more of Kentucky Derby coverage 139 right after this.
We are back here with you from the Kentucky Derby Museum. Mind That Bird, the 2009 Kentucky Derby winner. Of course, what a great victory he had at odds of 50-1 on display here at the Kentucky Derby Museum. If you get a chance, you'll love to come by and see Mind That Bird. He's living a good life out here with us today. He's been eating hay. He's been staying out of the rain like a lot of the fans would like to do today.
So many people were here yesterday for the Kentucky Oaks. About 112,000 people made it out. They spent $46 million betting on the Kentucky Oaks yesterday. Today, we'll see what the betting windows bring in, but every year a lot of people are working out here at the windows, and some of them just work Oaks and Derby, and they bring in an army to take in that loot.
And some of them are also thinking ahead to their bets as the odds have been changing, and our Terry Miners this morning caught up with someone eager to place some bets.
At least while you stand in the rain today, you get a country concert blowing out of those big speakers up there. I'm not sure who that is. Kenny Chesney, Luke Bryan, somebody you've heard of, Jason Aldean, somebody or another. Hey, nice to see you.
Hey.
Let's take a picture together sometime soon.
I want to do that.
How did you earn all those necklaces?
6 or 7 years of derbies.
Yeah, they look good. That looks good on you.
Ray Tapp.
It was nice to see you, Ray.
Jay, I'm a big fan of yours. I listen to you all the time.
Yo, I really appreciate that, brother. I like your bling. That's mighty nice.
Orb will win.
Orb will win. Thank you. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
How are you doing this morning?
What's your name?
Donna.
Donna, you realize how smart you are? There's 2,000 employees out here at Churchill Downs, and you're one of the ones under a roof.
Under a roof.
How crazy do people get when they come up here with their money?
Oh, they're going to be real crazy today.
They do?
Muddy, wet, and everything.
And they you have to check and make sure all the money's real, right?
I have to make sure it's real.
That's the most important thing. Well, you just stay here, and since it's going to rain until Monday, I hope there's food in here, and you just don't even have to come out until Tuesday like the groundhog, okay?
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, sweetie, have a good derby. And then some people camp right here on the corner. They come right around and pack it in so they can see a little bit of the straightaway on the last bit of the home stretch right there. Put about 8 chairs right down in here, and you're right behind that fence, kind of pinned in, but that works out all right. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Yourself?
What's your name?
My name's Ted.
Ted, where are you from?
Toronto.
We always like having Canucks around here.
Thank you. I love being down here.
And you're not wearing a toque. That's a derby. Close to it.
It's a Kentucky toque.
That's a Kentucky toque. I like that. All right, have a great day.
Thank you.
You guys in Canada are used to the weather. It's no problem.
It should be white, but that's okay.
That's all right.
I don't think snow is in the
No,
forecast
there's
today.
none of that today, but as long as you stand under this overhang, you're a genius.
We're doing all right. Thank you, sir.
Enjoy yourself. There's the Prime Minister of Canada and the king of the home stretch right around the corner right there, and we're all stuck in the rain today. Terry Miner's here in the infield for Derby 139.
Looking good with all that plastic there in the infield. Exactly what you need. It amazes me every year. It doesn't matter. It can be cold, it can be rainy, it can be hot. People come to the Kentucky Derby, they come prepared, and they come to spend hours here and have a good time.
The track should charge them rent. Oh, that's right. They're already charging them to get in.
They're charging.
We've got the rent payments from them. Don't forget, we love to collect your photographs at WHAS11.com. Your photos at WHAS11.com is how you can send them to us all day long from Churchill Downs. We'll get them on the website immediately.
And you can also tweet us, WHAS11 Derby. Tweet us, tell us what you're doing on your Derby day. We'll be right back with more of our Derby coverage after this.
Well, you know, we always like to say that if you're going to forecast the weather, it's good to be out in the weather.
Yes, and our meteorologists have been out in the weather during this 2 days Oakston Derby, and still just a steady drizzle is what we've had here over the past about 45 minutes. It started pretty hard and then kind of eased off. You see the sun break sometimes, but Reed Yaden, I don't think that we're going to get too much sun today, are we?
No, I don't think you have to worry about sun today. In fact, Rachel and I are outstanding in the rain.
Yeah, not too bad, but the question you've been getting asked in there, thunderstorms?
No, don't have to worry about thunder, don't have to worry about severe weather. Having said that, let's take a look at 3D radar now as we head toward 11 o'clock. Temperatures in the upper 50s, and there's the story. Rain in the metro area now. It is a light, steady rain here at Churchill Downs. It is going to pick up from time to time, but the rain will get more active as we move through the afternoon. Here is the regional radar view, satellite combined, and you see the large area of rain we're going to be dealing with as we head toward post time. Cloudy skies will continue. Temperatures today, as we look at your Derby forecast, not very far from 60 degrees, either side of 60. When it's all said and done by tomorrow night, we can end up with anywhere from 1 to 2 to 2.5 inches of rain, a flood watch through tomorrow in the southern part of the state. Rachel, we got about a minute to go here. We need to thank the folks at Wagner's.
Oh, they were wonderful. Great hosts. We really appreciate that. And you can see behind us, Reed, even though it's raining, a lot of people still coming into Gate 3 here. It obviously will affect the crowd, but we have found the most expensive piece of real estate. Brian Derby, it is that overhang right over your head at Wagner's. Everybody crowding under, trying to get out of the rain and get their ponchos on, Melissa and Doug, before they head into the rain.
Indeed. Plan on a rainy afternoon, a wet Derby in Kentuckiana, but we want you to make it a safe one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Above all, and we thank you for being with us here on our Derby edition of Good Morning Kentuckiana Saturday.
And now I think they're going to give their Derby picks. Guys, I'm listening.
We are all ears.
All right. Well, I'm going to make my Derby pick first. Before I do that, I want to thank everybody who has helped us out. Churchill Downs, the Derby Museum, all the people behind the scenes, our photographers, our reporters, everyone has been great over these past 2 days. The engineers, the directors, producers, you're all in there, and I really want to thank you. It has been a stellar production.
And Michael, the shuttle driver, who's been getting us here on
Michael's
time.
been great.
Right.
He's been going nonstop,
We
48 hours, I do believe.
We better do our picks.
We are doing our picks. This is our tradition, and I have 2 quick picks. and they're both sentimental favorites. I want Oxbow because of Gary Stevens. He's a 50-year-old grandfather, and I say Gary Stevens is going to make 50 the new 40. And D. Wayne Lucas, I love him.
That would be young for me.
That'd be young for me too, Gary. And then I'm going with My Loot because of Rosie Napravnik. You've got to bet on the redheaded woman in the race, I say. And My Loot just might do very well because of the track conditions today. So those are my picks.
My Loot, I have to bet that horse before I leave. That's my wife's favorite. But here are my picks and the order in which I like them to finish. Orb, I love Shug McGahee. Of course, he's a Kentucky man from Lexington. And I also came across this one bit of trivia that 1923 was the last time a horse with a three-letter name won the Derby. And that horse was named Zev.
It's a sign.
So I mean, this place is full of history. So I think Orb will win. We've got it a little reversed on the screen. I love the Normandy invasion story. Of course,
Beautiful
Gary, you
horse.
got to see it play out. Rick Porter, just such a neat man, and I like that horse. And Revolutionary, well, being a Louisville native, how can you bet against Calvin Burrell? You have to. at Churchill
Calvin
Downs.
Burrell. Will it happen?
For Calvin Burrell.
If you do bet against him, you're not very smart.
That's right. So those are my three picks, and happy Derby, everyone.
All right, Doug, I think you're close. I'm going to flip it on you. I'm going to have Revolutionary to win the Derby, Orb coming down the stretch, and Revolutionary, the dead closer, coming in to nip him at the wire.
Now, what do you think about this? Lafitte Penkai, the famed jockey, just picked the other day Golden Sense to win.
I think it's interesting, but I think Golden Sense may be challenged to get the distance, much like Bodemeister was.
He's a Cardinal fan. That's why. He's a Cardinal fan. So you say Revolutionary is going to win Kentucky Derby 139.
And a fourth for Calvin. I think Orb will be second. And I love the two I love your sentimental bet on My Loot, because I think Rosie Napravnik and My Loot
to see that.
And Tom Amoss have a tremendous chance to win, especially in the wet weather. And my fourth and most sentimental bet is that Cott and Campbell walk across that track and Palace Malice wins for them at Dogwood Stables. I just think they're a remarkable couple. They've meant so much to racing, and I think Palace Malice has a legitimate chance. And much like yesterday, he has Mike Smith.
Okay, is Revolutionary going to be a good mud horse?
I think he has a shot to be a good mud horse. The highest mud numbers though are Lucas's horse. Oxbow and Will Take Charge. I really have they call it the Tomlinson wet numbers, and they have among the highest. So
Well, we will find out at 6:26. Goes off at 6:24. 6:26 this afternoon. We're going to know who was right about Kentucky Derby 139.
And so as the day goes on, how do you think these odds are going to change, and our picks will change in our own minds because of what the betting public's going to do when they get to the track?
I think once they come in there and they find out that Orb is 6-1, I think you have more people betting on Orb. And I think what you're going to have is like three co-favorites, probably Orb and Revolutionary and Verrazano.
Calvin will be in there, the Revolutionary, Calvin Burrell.
And the Golden Sense factor too. So you have 3-4 horses that are going to be under 10-1. But everything else there, and have a little fun with this, folks. It's a muddy day, and you might
anything could happen.
It might be big balloons.
So much fun to have with a muddy bet. Complicates things so much.
Enjoy your Derby day, everyone. No matter what you do, we know a lot of you go to parties, you go to friends' houses, you just stay home. A lot of people usually plant flowers. Maybe not today.
I was going to try to plant tomatoes, but it looks like that won't be happening. Thank you so much for joining WHAS 11 all week long for Derby coverage. Have a great Derby, everybody.